Hey guys, how's it going? There we go, live. I am just setting up on Instagram. I'm gonna go live on Facebook and Instagram today. So give me just a second. Oh, there we go. Okay, it wasn't working. I gotta get my phone. Okay, good deal. We're working now. Anyway, how are you guys? Did you come on, say hi, tell me where you're from. I always like that. I think it's kind of fun to see where in the world we reach. So my name is Chelsea Evans and I am the owner and artist on AApple Blossom Way. And another thing I am trying today, so we are live on Facebook and Instagram. And last week we had just a little bit of echo. And so I put in my headphones with one phone and not the other. So let's see if that helps us out. If you guys have any issues hearing, please let me know. And I'm not real tech savvy, so maybe we'll get through it, maybe we'll adjust it, or maybe we'll wait till next time. Anyway, I'm gonna do decoupage again. I did it last week, but I have a different project today. Last week we did the window. It turned out really awesome. I actually just hung it in my house and it's so beautiful. So I'm excited to do something a little bit different today with some similar concepts. So we got from Italy, Virginia, Texas, sweet, awesome. Welcome, welcome. And Russia, hello. Okay, so I purchased a shelf from Walmart. This is, I'll show you, let me move this aside and I'll show you what it looks like first. So it's just an expensive, kind of like an MDF shelf. And my husband put this together for me while I got ready this morning because he's awesome. And it has two shelves that go in it, all right? So I have the box built, but I haven't attached the back of it yet. And that's because we're gonna decoupage the back of it. So this shelf that I purchased, it was 23 bucks at Walmart. You can probably find really well-made shelves at a local thrift shop or on the marketplace, places like that. So keep an eye out if you're looking for a shelf to do this with, and you can find one. Or if you wanna go purchase one, you can hop over there and get one for 23 bucks. Probably most stores like that would have shelves that you could buy. All right, so you wanna assemble it except for the back, or if you buy one, when you're gonna flip a thrift one, just take the back off. It's the easiest way to do it, so you don't have to mess with all the shelves, okay? And the back of this one is actually meant to be black. So when you look at it, and it's real nice. It's a really nice cardboard backing we have here. But that's okay. So it's meant to show the black back. And I had planned on painting it white, so when we apply our decoupage paper, it really pops and the colors will come through and be true to what they should be. But I flipped it over and we have this perfect cardboard color that's definitely light enough to show all of the colors in my decoupage. So we are going to not paint it and leave it. Saves us a step, which is nice. I did remove the little sticker. It does have a sticker on the back if you buy one. And so I just removed it. It's okay if it rips a little bit. You can use a heat gun or like a hair dryer and it will loosen up the bond. It will come off easier. But for really impatient people like me, you just rip that sucker off and you don't care what happens. Just don't tear all the way through the cardboard. Okay, so just take that off. Our decoupage is gonna cover it, no big deal. And then this is the hardest part of the whole project. I think it's the hardest part of probably any project is choosing which decoupage paper you're gonna use or what color. Luckily, this is already painted. Actually, it's kind of like a black wood finish on this one. They also have white ones, so white would look great too. This is going to be perfect for shoes, paint, supplies, whatever you want. So I pulled out different decoupage because I wanted to show you guys and I want you guys to help me choose and vote. We're gonna do a combination. These are good in size, but they're not big enough to cover the entire back area that I need to have covered. And so we're gonna do a combo of 2 or 3 papers. So I'm gonna show them to you and you guys tell me which ones that you like together. So how I did it, I just separated out 3 of the florals, okay? And 3 of the different designs. And I'll show them to you. So I thought if I set out my florals and then set out my other designs, they all have kind of blue and teal tones in them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look for tones that are similar. And I'll open these up so you guys can see them better. It's really hard to see with that plastic reflecting in the light, but I'll tell you what they're called. When we're all done, I'll add in the names of the exact papers that we used. Hi from Spain, hello. Okay, so this is the first one I'm gonna show you. This one is called Pretty Meadows. And it just has a really beautiful, very light kind of peachy pink tones, some blues and some rich greens in there. I love this one. I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. I'll fold them up a little bit so we can fit more on here. The next one is called Forest Garden. So I'll show you the florals first, then we'll show you the other ones, and we'll pick. Forest Garden. This one's a little bit brighter florals, more like, for me, it kind of reminds me of like wildflowers, the color tones that would grow, but it has more rich red tones, some burgundies, and some deeper blues. Okay, and some yellows, some bright colors, some bright yellows in there, which is kind of fun. So a little bit brighter, more rich. And the next one is called Olivia, which I love the name Olivia. I think it's such a pretty name. My sister said if she ever had twins, like a boy and a girl, she'd name them Oliver and Olivia. And I thought that was so cute. These are decoupage papers that we're using. Okay, and this is Olivia. So this has a really pretty mint kind of color behind it, some pretty purpley and white light pink tones. I think this one's really, really pretty too. Okay, and then our different designs. Okay, we like the first one. I think the first one's pretty too. You guys on Facebook are way more quiet than Instagram. Let's have a battle. Let's see who can make more noise. Okay, so this one's called Distressed Deco. And I love this because it already has that distressed look. So it has a little bit of script writing over the top, kind of a golden yellow tone, and some pretty blues. So I feel like you could match this with quite a few colors. The blues are gonna darken a little bit with our background here. Oh, I'm liking those two together. I'll back up a little bit so you guys can kind of see as I lay these down. Well, I've got two more to show you and then we'll pick. Patina Flourish is the next one. Oh, that's so neat. So she says, when Dahlia says that her baby's name's Oliver and her best friend's baby is Olivia. That's so cute. I love it. Okay, so Patina Flourish. Oh, this is cool. This would be so great with like a rusty tone, some deep browns, chocolates, maybe a weather vane, or which is like a charcoaly warm gray tone. So it has some patina look in it. I love this. I actually like this so much more opened up than in the package. Yeah. That's too bright. I feel like that's too bright for what we're gonna do today. So I'm voting. I'm sorry, but Forest Garden is out. Although I really love it and it'll be great on a project, I'm not gonna use it on this particular one. So we'll open this one up and then check it out. They really do look different when you open them versus what they look like in the package. Yeah, I like the Flourish too. Yes, Roz, I really do. I didn't realize how much, I like both of those a lot. And then this one is called Cobalt Flourish. So this has that beautiful cobalt blue. It's got some brighter tones in it. This would probably work really well with the brighter florals we have here because they have more intense blue and bright tones. So those would actually look really cool together. If I was gonna pair them, I would probably do the Cobalt Flourish and then, let's see, the Forest Garden together. But I think this is a little bright for what I'm going for too. So we'll set this one aside. So let's look at what we have left and you guys tell me what you like. Okay, so we have these two. I kind of like the idea of a floral. We can do 2 to 3 papers, okay? I like the idea of a floral with another design. So what do you guys think about those together? I kind of I like how this has some bright blue tones, but they're not too bright, and they can go with these two. I think that might be a really nice combo because it has the light and a little bit darker, but then it has tones that kind of go together well. It also has some dark parts in here, some dark greens in here, where it has lighter and it has some lighter tones. So I feel like that really matches well. What do you guys think? I do really love this one too. I feel like this competes a little bit too much with that one though. Like the color is real similar, but not exact. Does that make sense? So maybe I'd either do those three. So the first one I showed you, those three, or maybe I would do that. Or maybe I would just do this and then I would paint like some rust and pink and some of this kind of maroonish tone in and kind of tie it all together. That would be pretty too. So you don't have to use all decoupage. You could use decoupage and mixed media, paint, texture, and kind of blend it all together. So what do you guys think? The first, yes, agree, number one. Okay, we're doing number one. Let's do the three together. So Olivia, we'll use you another time because you're beautiful and I love you. And let's do these three. So the great part about it, these are gonna cover a lot of space. So I'm gonna have extras. So let's lay them out. I think this backing, I think that the height of this was 31 inches. And I don't have my ruler with me, but I'm guessing this is probably like 28, maybe 29 inches. So if we divide it into 10-inch segments, we'll be about on. Maybe that's like half, let's see. Probably about half the size, because these are 19 inches wide. I think they're 19 by 30. So that's about halfway down, which would be perfect. Let's check it out. Okay, and then let's arrange them in the order we want. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I got a message from Facebook. That was weird. They said I can't add a guest. So it's a good thing we're not adding guests right now. Okay. What do you think? Should we have the floral in the middle to kind of break it up? And then or do we want the two lights with the darker in the middle? Mm-hmm. Like that. Like I said, this is the hardest part, is deciding what you're gonna use and where you're gonna place it, what colors. So I purposely did not figure this out until now so I can kind of show you my process. I'm kind of liking the look of that with the lights on both sides and the darker in the middle. Yes. I think that balances out better. Now my only other question is, do we put this on top or bottom? I'm thinking, nope, I like it the other way. Okay, cool. And guess what? If I decide in the end that I want the flowers on this side and this side, I haven't installed it, so I just flip it around and install it the other way. Although my flowers would be upside down. So there you go, something else to think about. Okay, so if I do halves on these, let's see, if I cut them exactly in half, are we gonna cover our whole surface? Let's see, 1, 2. Nope, so we need to cut it a little bit bigger than halves. Okay. All right, so let's start with our middle first. I like to cut the middle first because then I can have the sides, I can cut down the sides how I need to and I don't have to measure them exact. Sleepy Sloth says it's too busy. It is a little busy, but the rest of the shelf is totally neutral. It's basically all black and the shelves are black. So these designs in here are gonna be the only thing that has any color or design. So I think it's okay to do all three. If I had a bunch of colors going on the shelf, I wouldn't do all three, but with the way this shelf is designed, I think we're gonna be good. So the first one we are going to be cutting is Patina Flourish. I'm gonna cut just a little above this line. Now, my edges don't have to be perfect, and there's a couple reasons why. Number one, I can insert my shelf so it kind of covers up those lines, or I can use a texture medium, a texture paste, or even a little bit of paint and kind of just add a little bit between the two where they meet, and the eye will just flow up and it won't look like I have 3 different separate papers. Hello from Morocco. Yes, I will definitely share the finished product when I'm all done. Ooh, Sleepy Sloth, they're challenging me. Prove me wrong. Okay, I will. I'll stage it and it's gonna be awesome. And you know what? Sometimes things don't work out. I mean, they just don't. And then you just keep going until you make them work. Okay, I'm not gonna cut this perfect. I'm gonna leave a little bit of overhang on each side. And we'll just trim off the excess. When it totally dries, I can either trim off the excess with a pair of scissors, I can use an X-Acto knife if I want, or I can use some, I use 220 fine grit sandpaper. When it's totally dry, you can go along the edge and it's going to clean up your edge and it's going to be perfect. So, you don't have to be perfect now. All right, let's go ahead and apply this one, and then we'll have it laid down and we'll know what we need to cut on our other 2 pieces. So I'm gonna use soft matte gel. This is, let's see if we can get that to focus a little bit. Soft matte gel from Redesign with Prima. It's an Art Basics product, Finavera Art Basics product. I used it last time. Uh-oh, I didn't think about this. If you don't clean up your edges, there we go. After you use it and you get some on the outside, it can seal the lid shut, which happens a lot with top coats or gels like this. So clean it off when you're done, or you can just gently hit it on the edge of the counter or floor and it will loosen up that bond and you'll be able to get the lid off. Oh, Raj, you're so nice. Yeah, see, and this is what's fun for me, is to show something and my vision is totally different than maybe someone else's. And so it's kind of fun to do something and have people go like, no, what are you doing? And then finish it and have people be like, okay, I thought it wasn't gonna work, but it turned out amazing. And sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay too. Can't win them all. So I'm just gonna take this, the matte gel, and I'm going to apply it to the back of my cardboard. You can use matte gel, you can use a water-based top coat. I do like to use Wisel varnish, so I'll use that sometimes. You can use a spray adhesive if you would like. That would probably be really easy and quick. However, when I do my lives, I do them inside and I don't want to spray that in my house. So I would recommend doing something like that outside. And I'm just applying it so it's thick enough that my decoupage tissue paper is going to adhere, okay? And I'm just gonna pull off my edges here. There we are. Okay, and kind of just stipple it a little bit. A little bit more. I'm just going out of the lid because I had some on it. The number 1 rule when applying your base is you want to make sure that the whole area is covered. If it's not fully covered, then you're going to get air bubbles, wrinkles, and you're going to have adhesion issues later on. So make sure that that whole area is covered really well, and then you can apply. Okay, so let's take this and I showed you guys this last time. I always start from one side and then I spread it out to the other side. This is going to help with wrinkles and other issues. Now the difference between these is they're more porous. So last week I showed the rice paper. Rice paper isn't really porous. These tissue papers, and I'll hold one up and show you what I mean by that. They have like little tiny holes in them. And so I'm getting a tiny bit of product on my hand, which is fine. So just be prepared for that. But the cool thing about these is I don't have to wait till this is dry to seal it. So if I decided, you know, okay, I'm gonna apply it and I wanna put my sealant right over top, because they're porous, I can go ahead and do that. Another cool thing about them is they're very, very durable. These are not gonna rip or tear easily. The rice papers are much more delicate, so you have to be gentle with them. But the tissue paper is like real strong. Okay. So I can take the soft matte gel and go right over the top of it if I wanted to right now. I'm not going to, and the reason for that is because I want to let this totally dry and then trim my edges, and then I will apply it over the top. Okay, so we've got it all applied on there. We've got to, I hope this doesn't turn my headphone off. I'm trying to make it sure it doesn't fall out. Okay, so this is what I mean by they're strong. Like, I'm pulling pretty hard. They're very durable, which is awesome. And if I can hold it up close enough, maybe you can see that they are a little bit porous, okay? So let's take our top now, and we're just gonna do a rough cut, same as before, and just trim up the top imperfectly, and we're gonna save our excess for another project. You would probably have enough material that if you purchase 2 of these shelves, you could do 2 backs and then have them side by side and have, you know, kind of like a whole artwork going on. Or you could mount them on the wall and you would have some cool designs in the background too. So the next one we are going to use is called Distressed Deco. I want to turn it right side up. And how you know is the design is much more intense on one side and lighter on the other side. You can use it either way. So if you like the design a little bit faded, then go ahead and use it that way. If you like it more intense, then use it right side up. This is your thing. You do what you want. Okay. All right. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to trim just a little bit of excess off, and I don't know why this is not staying in. Like, really sorry. Okay, and we'll just trim a little bit of that off and save it. These would be, okay, this is a great idea, sorry. These would actually be really cute if you had like a little canning jar, clear jar, something sitting around to take your extra pieces, wrap it around the canning jar like that, and take a couple pieces of twine, wrap it around that, tie a little knot, and you could put a candle in it, you could put some flowers in it, give them for Mother's Day, give them to your friends, or for a wedding, whatever. That would be really cute little table piece. So save your little scraps, because there's always little projects you might need them for that are going to appreciate them. Okay, let's add this top one, we'll cut the bottom one. Actually, let's cut the bottom one first. Then we can just go right along. Okay, so the last one we're gonna apply is our beautiful floral one, and this one is called Pretty Meadows again. Oh, it's such a great, great piece. Okay, so we'll go ahead and apply that there. And grab our scissors, trim it up, and then we will go to town applying it. And I'll tell you guys what, I only stay on this page for so long and show part of this project. I post the final project later on, but if you would like to join me for a few minutes on my page afterwards, I will show you how I can add texture paste in between these papers and kind of blend them. So no matter where our shelves hit, it's still gonna look great. All right, so let's add our matte gel up top. You can also use Mod Podge if you would like. So any type of adhesive like that. Okay, so we're just gonna use our matte gel and we're just going to apply it. There is, I believe there's satin and matte gel. So I will double check. I've only used the matte. It gives you a little bit more work time. I love using varnish, like I said. Oh, this is also terrible, that really expensive backing that I paid for will tear, so be careful. I probably should have just replaced the back with like a thin piece of plywood or something like that, but wood is expensive right now, so we're just gonna go with cardboard. Hi Stephanie, how are you? Yes, so I did drop a link on on Instagram because I couldn't, but I carry them in as an affiliate from Redesign. So you can look for a retailer near you. You can go to redesignwithprima.com and find one near you, or you can just go to my site, appleblossomway.com, and there's a link there as well. Then you can find things like the Klingon brush I'm using, or other products. I teach lots of classes, so you can check those out if you'd like to. Okay, I'm just gonna double check this one more time. Make sure I'm putting it the right way. And I don't know what this says. Oh no, this is in English. I do know what it says. Some of them are in different languages. This says, come to London till you hear further from me, or something like that. Ooh. Okay, so same thing, I'm just gonna take it from this side. And actually, we're gonna go this way. I'm gonna fold it over. And, because I want this edge to be covered, right? So I wanna make sure I line that edge up pretty well. It can overlap a little bit. There we go. And that's okay if it does. And then we'll just kind of slowly apply it across. The other way is probably a little bit easier because you're not working from such a wide surface. Yeah, apply it the other way, it's way easier. I just thought I'd be all fancy and show you guys you can do it different ways. And the other thing is, if you get little wrinkles with this, you can pull it up and smooth them out and keep going. Or you can leave them, and a lot of times I like to leave them because when I take that texture, medium over top or paint over top, I like to play off of those wrinkles. I like to dry brush it and really let the wrinkles just pop. I think that's really cool. It makes it look more authentic and organic to the piece instead of looking like you just took a paper and just slapped it on there. So it's just preference. But I don't ever worry. Some people stress about wrinkles and things like that. I guess like in real life, right? But it's just part of it. It's part of the authenticity of it, right? Which I think is what makes really beautiful art. Okay, so you can see on this piece, there's a little bit of overlap, which is totally fine. And let's apply the last one. And when I'm applying this, I am getting it a little bit onto this middle section. And that's okay too, because like I said, I can use this to seal it up right now. I'm going to wait, so it's not gonna hurt it or affect it. It's not gonna rip or tear. So just keep in mind, the different types of papers you're using, you need to treat them a little bit differently. Because if I was this harsh with the rice papers, they could rip or tear. So just always keep that in mind. Make sure when you get your glue, your glue medium, your adhesive medium, varnish, whatever that may be, that you get it all the way to the edges. That way your piece is gonna adhere really nicely. And then when you trim off your excess or sand off your excess, your paper is going to stick all the way around to your piece. Okay, and we'll add our flowers. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so this is our final one. And we are gonna go like this again because that was no fun last time. And I'm just going to kind of guess and let it overlap a little bit. There. I think that's easier. You can use your hand, you could use like a spatula, like a plastic spatula or tool to kind of press this down. I always have my hands on me, and so I like to use my hands a lot. Okay, so there we have it. We've got our 3 different papers added to the back. A little bit wild, a little bit crazy, but it's gonna be awesome. And on our cardboard. Now our cardboard feels a little bit dense and wet, right? And so I am going to let it dry completely. And because it's porous, if I stick books or something on top of it, that the soft matte gel might come through, and then I've got books stuck to my backing, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna let it totally dry, and then once it's dry, I may put some books down just to kind of hold this in place because it is that cardboard. If you have a piece of wood, it's not gonna react that way, but that's part of doing this. Is sometimes things don't work ideally, and it's great to do it live and show you and be real with you, and then kind of brainstorm together what you'd fix, what you'd change, what you do differently, and what worked really well. So I like making mistakes because I think everybody makes them and we can learn together. So, I mean, it's not really a mistake, it's just a learning process. Other than that, it's totally fine. It's gonna hold up fine, especially when I put it on the back of my shelf. So let's look at that. Let's take a peek, and then I'll let you guys go. So this is the fancy shelf that I purchased. I told in the beginning, from Walmart for 23 bucks. And this is going to be the backing against the shelf. Okay, and then it will have inserts that go in like this. Okay, it'll have those shelf inserts. So that will kind of help divide up our background and give us something to look at besides just what's on the shelves. All right, so stay tuned. You guys can check back on my page, AApple Blossom Way, to see the finished product. I think it's gonna be awesome. And if you wanna hang around for a few minutes, you can find me on my page, AApple Blossom Way on Facebook. I'll go live for a minute and I'll show you how I add some texture paste to kind of give us a cool transition across the board and tie it all together. So thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for all of your thoughts and comments and everything. I really appreciate them. And we'll see you guys soon.